Then we are live. Welcome back,
Welcome
Ali.
back. Thank you, Trudy. Thank you. Always look forward to these monthly chats that we have, and
Yes,
work. Yeah, I really do. I do.
yeah. Well, I
Um,
always enjoy your energy.
even when I'm tired, you still put up with me. Thank you.
Even when you are tired, you still keep up that energy.
That's true.
I
That's
know.
true. That's what a teacher does. A teacher can't take a day
Yes,
off.
yeah, I figure.
Anyway.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so
Yeah.
at the when I first started, I watched, well, of course, my first live, I played back and I couldn't believe how I look. And then I noticed that you managed to keep that energy going the whole hour. So after that, I say, oh, I learned from watching you.
Oh, you're a sweetheart. Everybody had their first experience where they had to start. And I look back at some of my first videos that I had 2.5 years ago, and I go, oh,
I
I
know.
wasn't. Yeah, I was
My first
kind of
one,
different.
it was like, oh, still half an hour to go. Keep looking at the clock because I
I
didn't
know.
know,
What am I going to talk about? Right? Yeah.
well, I didn't know how to read cards, and I jumped on channel for
Uh-huh.
tarot card
Yeah.
reading, and I didn't know how to read. Yeah, so
I know.
here is
No, I get it. I get it.
Bora, Carandol, Osmanthus,
Mhm.
Woodwitch, yeah, eight
Yes,
here.
hi, Smith. I'm Michelle. And Book Bewitched. Yes, it's good to see you. Yes. Thank you for being here, everybody. Thank you for being here. So it's Gertrude's turn this week to pick what she wanted to talk about with regard to the mystics. And she picked a good one. She really did. She picked a good one. Hi, Jessica Lynn. So what I did was I bought a book with all the intentions of reading the entire book before we had this. I've had it for a month, and I've been so busy between going to hospitals with my husband or whatever, but it's called The Direct Experience, The Way of Non-Duality. And
Yeah,
that's what Gertrude wants to talk about today is non-duality, or I guess you could call it unity. You could call it that because it's not duality. So I did not read it all, but I read a lot of parts of it that I think can explain it to people and not be too complicated, because I think we get lost when it's too complicated, don't you think?
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I like to keep
Yeah.
things really simple.
Uh-huh. Hello, Jeanette. Hello, McGrill and Jessica Lynn. Good to see you. So I had read a book, gosh, when I was in my graduate school, so it must have been in the 90s. And it was a book by Aldous Huxley, and he's a philosopher, and he wrote about the perennial philosophy. And I don't remember everything that was in it. I do remember that I liked it, and I felt like it was something that I would love to read. Hi, Mary. Nice to see you. So I remember even giving it to my son and saying, this is something you should read when you get older or whatever. Anyway, in this book, they reference Aldous Huxley's perennial philosophy, and they said that his ideas that he talks about in that book are about non-duality, which I had forgotten about. And hi, Carolyn. Hi, Peter. Um, and I thought, okay, so I feel like I have a background. I just couldn't remember the whole thing about it at the time. And I I feel as though it's something that other mystics have brought in Buddhism, in Hinduism, and in other. And there's actually quotes in here from a few, like Sri Ramana
Yes,
Maharishi. Is that the one you listen to?
yeah,
Is that okay? Okay. So yes, so that the first quote in here is from Sri Ramana Maharishi. Isn't that
yeah,
funny? So yeah. So and this is why I think, were interested in talking about it. So
yes,
I'm just excited about it myself. I always love to learn new things, and I love integrating what I learn into my own beliefs and philosophies. And so if you don't know about it, you don't know that you should integrate it. So, and there she goes, running, running, running.
yeah. Ah, but it's
Oh,
interesting. Yesterday YouTube just popped up the perennial philosophy. And I thought, oh, that looks interesting. I'm going to look into it, And it's the first time I come across that
Oh,
term.
good.
And
Yeah.
here you come up with it.
Uh-huh. And actually you will see that it's pretty much what Shreese talks about as well. And
Oh,
I think the reason it popped up is because you have watched some videos on non-duality. So that's
yes.
you know how they look and see what you like and stuff. So I can't wait to hear what you think about that. Maybe even next week or next week. Next time we can talk a little bit more about that if you want, if you watch it and you are interested in talking about it even more. I think it's something that we could do over a period of time. It's sort of, it's because it's pretty deep. It's pretty deep,
Yeah.
and yet it isn't. So, yeah. Hi, Arlene. Hi. So when I was in, I started to take a class actually in a philosophy class back in 2000. And the first day of class, my teacher blew my mind because he'd say, he comes in the class and he says hi to everybody. And then he says, I want to know, how do you know that you know? How do you know that you know? And all of us have blank faces, because we're aware we know. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how do you know that you know that you know? He kept going. And at the end, I had to get Tylenol. I had such a headache because it was so deep what he was going into. I couldn't wrap my whole brain around it. And yet I knew there was something about it that was good and important to know, using the word. So, okay, Karen, that's all right. No problem. Hi, Jing. My goodness, we got hypnicities here. Yep. So
Jing.
let me preface it by this what Sri Ramana Maharishi said. Talking of the witness should not lead to the idea that there is a witness and something apart from it that they're witnessing. The witness means the light that illuminates the seer, the seen, and the process of seeing. So what he's saying is that we are not separate from what we see or from what else is around that he is witnessing. So that's pretty deep too, don't you think? You confused at first, Gertrude, when you read it?
Yeah, that is really when you when you read it out,
Yeah.
as you say, I could wrap my mind around it, even though I have been watching
Yeah.
almost a lot of
All the
videos.
videos. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very
Yeah.
deep.
It is very big. And in the perennial philosophy, Huxley says, the deepest purpose of life is discover who and what we truly are. But what he wanted to say too in this is that we are not just us. In other words, I'm witnessing these cards, but I'm
Yes.
also they're part of me. They are part of me. My seeing it is part of the whole thing. And these are part of me. So it's me doing the seeing, me being the seer, and also me seeing the unseen. And
Yeah.
all of that can really confuse a lot of people. So let me give you a couple of more examples so that it helps you. So in this book, it says, in your direct experience, when you know anything, it collapses into this: subject, object, and your cognition, which is your understanding of it. They're all one thing. You, the object, and your understanding of the object are one thing, and that is non-duality, because you exist all in the same, all three of you exist in the same one thing. Realize that you are not at all able to separate your hearing, the sound, and the awareness you have of hearing. And that makes sense. So let's say, for instance, somebody shoots off some fireworks outside. And I don't know, is it a gunshot? Is it fireworks? I don't know. But I'm here, I can hear it, and they're shooting it off. And I'm aware that I can hear it being shot off, if that makes sense. So those three things are actually one thing, which is non-duality. It says the non-dual understanding of reality provides us with enlightening and reasonable answers. Non-duality is based on the idea of the primacy of consciousness over matter, and matter is a manifestation of consciousness and not vice versa. That's a lot to take in. And I would recommend, if you watch the videos that Sri Ramana Maharishi does, that you may have to watch them more than once to understand. There are some people that can explain things really well so that you can get them in the first couple of times. And there are some people that explain things and you don't get what they're trying to explain. Is that true, Gertrude? Did you see that in listening to some of these? Yeah.
Well, hymnicity. I see. Yeah. And then Mary Thornberry. Sometimes some good old-fashioned faith lets you know, even if you do not know. Yeah. Yes, Ramana Maharishi, 100 years back.
Yep.
Yeah.
What was very interesting about the perennial philosophy is it's nothing new. That's what Huxley says. It's been around forever. And it was around with the Greeks. It was around with the Romans. And actually, you could take Plato's allegory of the cave and see that non-duality shows up in that as well. That we are the maker of the meaning, and the thoughts about the meaning. We are all those three things of something. Yeah. So, and that's why non-duality exists between all of us as well. And that's why when people say you're all connected, we're all connected to each other, that it's true. Every one of us has an influence, or there's a sort of a fusion between us all, what we are currently going through, what our perceptions are, and what we think about those perceptions. And that's why it's so important to remember that there is who is it? I think it's Wayne Dyer says that we are not part of the ocean. We are the ocean.
Yes.
Yeah. And I agree with that. We're not just part of each other, but we're part of the earth. We're part of the ocean. We're part of the clouds. We're part of all of those things.
Yeah.
And it can be very heady, really can. It requires us to let go of ego perceptions in being separate and unaware of the other. One of the things that I remember watching was a video done by the TED Talk people. And it was a very good video, but it upset some of my students when I showed it, because it was about how we are Americans, but we're also Gazans. We're also Ukrainians. We're also, Asians. Because we're human and we have the human experience. And so, what happens to one happens to everyone. And you can't step away from that and think that you are not touched by it, or that it isn't part of your experience, because it absolutely is. So let's see. There was something else I want. Non-dualism was defined as the perennial philosophy. It is an idea that has arisen in all cultures and all ages, in Christian mystics, Sufism, and the Kabbalah, Neoplatism, idealism, Eastern religion, Hinduism, Advaita Vedanta, Buddhism, Taoism, and Zen. So actually what you did when you found this out, Trudy, was you brought in not only what we're doing today, but everything else into this beautiful, it's like a huge cup of delicious unity is what it is, or non-duality.
Yeah.
So, it's wonderful. The other thing that I found that I absolutely love, I love Carl Jung, who was a psychologist and very, very spiritual. And he says, thinking is hard. That's why most people judge. And I think, we know what judgment does. Judgment is always just our perception of something. That's all it is. So Shri, I'm going to leave with this and let Trudy talk a little bit about it because I want you to be able to do it too. Hello, Mazanzi
Yeah.
Soundworks.
Hi.
Yeah, welcome. To know what you look like, think about it this way. This is great. To know what you look like, you have to look in the mirror. But don't mistake that reflection of you for yourself. What is perceived by our senses and mind is never the truth. All visions are mental creations only. If you believe them, your progress will stop. Ask for whom the visions occur. Who is their witness? Free yourself from all thoughts and stay in pure awareness. So when we look at each other, even right now, as Trudy and I are talking, and I'm talking to you, I can see myself on the video, but that's just a reflection of me. It's not who I am. It's not what I am. It is the perception of who I am. It's the perception of how I bring myself to talk about something here on YouTube. But there's every other person in here also making their judgments and their perceptions from their what they call schemas, which are things that we have in our background that lead us to what we believe in and what we know. So
Yeah.
oh, I agree, Mary. Yeah, we grow up that way. We grow up with making judgments, and it was even worse in those of us who are older. Although I'm sure there are others that do it. That you hear it from your parents. When I was a kid, I was Protestant, and I was not allowed to date a Catholic because I can't marry a Catholic. And there were things that were said way back when that make no sense to me at all. But it was the culture that was saying that, and my parents were part of the culture that was saying it. So fascinating information. Yes, yes, absolutely.
Well, you're amazing. You cover it from the technical, and and you read it, and it's so technical. You are able to understand and explain how it
Good.
is.
Good. It isn't easy when you're first learning about it, I don't think. Is it?
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
for me, I understand it from the standpoint of Ramana Maharishi, which is like Advaita. And
Mhm.
that was how I think the non-duality, especially by Rupert Spira, popped out. And I started
Okay.
noticing it. Well, for Ramana Maharishi, when he was 16, he ex- he thought that he was going to die. Instead of panicking, he just
Oh,
watched himself to see how the experience would be if he dies. And
okay.
as he watched and watched, he experienced this real self, and then his physical self disappeared. His real self, which is the God, the divine self, took over.
Uh-huh.
And that divine self never left him. It just
That's
stayed with him.
wonderful. Mhm.
And
Mhm.
a lot of saints, when they go through this, they can attend to things in daily life, and yet they are never
Mhm.
separate from that divine.
Mhm.
So they reach
Right.
that non-duality where they are one with the
They are
divine.
one with the creator. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So
Because
they
we
say
are
that
anyway, but to recognize it is hard for us to recognize because it's already happened. We are one with the divine. But he
yes,
recognized it. Yes. Don't you think that, and that's part of the non-duality. So,
yes.
wow.
And of course,
Wonderful.
the raw collective, for them, the oneness.
Mhm.
And from the raw collective, I learned that, the Christian Catholic faith, we just think of it as God creating us,
Right. Yep.
and for them, it's no. God create us not outside of himself like an entity, the way we create a
Correct.
crystal, maybe, but
Mhm.
God expands himself into this creation, which
And
means
he's
that
part of us. Yeah.
yes,
He's
we are
inside of
that
us. Yeah.
oneness with God.
Yes. 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 Yep.
Yeah. So
That's
they say,
wonderful. That's
yeah, like when we go out into the nature, if we lost ourselves in the nature where we become not aware of ourselves, blend in, that is also
right.
that. non-duality.
Yep.
So the simple way one of them say is not two, just one.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
explain it. It's not
Yeah.
two.
Not two, or unified. Unified. Yeah.
Yeah.
There
So
is a poet that talks about that. But I'll let you finish what you're talking about. Yeah,
yeah.
go ahead. Yeah.
So Rupert Spira, in one video on non-duality, he had a very interesting allegory. So he had this John Smith. John Smith is our real self,
Okay.
the eternal self. And then he has King Lear. And King Lear is our real self together with our physical self. And he said that with most religion, they will give things to King Lear to do to arrive at the real self. But with non-duality, you don't give anything to King Lear, our physical self, to do. You just, slowly push the King Lear towards John Smith until, it disappears into John Smith. And there
Until
is,
they're one. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
I just love that allegory. And
Absolutely.
he used it. He applied the self-inquiry of Ramana Maharishi. And it's very
Excellent.
simple, actually. It's like the exercise is, every time I have a thought that is negative, I will ask myself, to whom is this thought arising? And then I will answer, to me or to I. So Ramana Maharishi said, the physical I or me cannot stand without any object. The subject cannot exist without the object. And then you start
That's right.
asking, who am I? Who am I? And as you look at the physical I disappear, and then the real self comes out. And
Absolutely.
that's when you arrive at that oneness.
The oneness. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes, because we can't separate ourselves from what we see, but can you see that this is why so many people live in illusions? Because what they believe they see, and then they make a judgment about what they believe they see, and they make a judgment about the belief of others and what they see. So you're dealing with people that are not, and this is what we're having a problem with right now, at least in the United States. People don't see what other people can see. And they don't want to, because they have their blinders on, and they're not seeing that we are one, we are unified, because there's too much. They want to separate. They want to separate and divide. Yes, that's true, Mazanzi. Yeah, we're all cells in the body of the Creator. That's right. That's right. Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
So the other thing that he said, that Rupert Spira, well, the thing with the real self is the real self is always happy. That's our heart. That is our,
yeah.
What
Our normal state. Yeah.
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 Yes. And so when we arrive at that non-duality, then we are better able to retain that state of happiness. And I find it really works, because very, very often, like even when I come on live, I use the who am I, and then I bring, and our real self is our higher self. So I let the higher self come out and operate. Or when I feel negativity towards something, and then I call in, because this self is free from all those ego tricks.
It is.
And that's why we don't suffer so much when we attend to that, because a lot of our suffering comes from the ego.
It does. It
She
really
has no
does.
right to treat me that way. She said that
Correct.
about me. It's
That's
all,
right.
all that
And
suffering.
when we get upset, we lash out because we want our ego's bruised, so we're going to lash out at what somebody else says, instead of saying, I am that, or I am you, or which would really piss off a lot of people. But yeah. I oh yeah, your absolute perspective is important. It definitely is. Yeah. 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 Yeah, it's the core self. There you go.
Wholesome.
That's
Yeah, I
wonderful.
like
That's
that.
wonderful.
Wholesome.
Yeah. It because Trudy was a Franciscan nun in the Catholic faith, this to her would be something that they would never talk about, right? I mean, this
Oh
wouldn't
no.
be discussed. No, this is like totally opposite of what you learned in monastery.
I, I couldn't tell
Um,
my very staunchly Catholic family that
right.
God did not
Yeah,
create us that way, you know.
that's right. That's right.
I
Because
Yeah,
it's so ingrained into the mindset that
yes,
this seems almost like it's blasphemy,
yes,
in a way. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Um, but because you have progressed on your spiritual path and you have been open to and learning about it as you have gone along, it's fabulous that you are able to bring that in and understand it so well.
yeah.
Oh,
So what I yeah, anyway, I don't know who. So what I do is my after I left the monastery, what I did was I follow truth wherever it goes. And then
mhm,
on the spiritual path, it's very, very important to have that open mind. Oh, thank you. I was
mhm.
going to delete it, but I didn't know how to delete it.
You couldn't on my channel anyway. You couldn't do it on my channel. So it was on my channel. I'm sorry.
Oh, it was on
Yeah.
your
Hello,
channel.
Spirit. Yeah, it was. It was somebody from my channel. Spirit behind the stars. Hi. Yes.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah. Um, I I will not let somebody do that to me. I don't. It brings down the whole conversation when somebody does that. So I'm sorry that happened. Um, Anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about William Blake, and William Blake was a poet, and there's no reason to go into every little detail about William Blake, but he was a poet in the 18th century out of England, and he also was a man that was an artist. He was brilliant. He was brilliant. He had a younger brother that died when he was a child, and he saw his ghost all the time. So this man was very enlightened. He was very, very enlightened. And he talks in his poetry and in his works a lot about unity, not duality. He doesn't want us to choose between one or the other. In other words, if you're given two choices, and of course, the worst part of the choices is the more choices you're given, the harder it is. For instance, if I said to you, Trudy, let's go out to lunch next week, and would you like to go for Chinese food or do you want Mexican food? And you go, I don't really care. You can, we can go whichever one. And so that would be a choice that would have to be made. And that choice would be very much different, though, because it would be what you felt like eating that day more than that you liked one over the other. But if I said, Trudy, would you like to go for Chinese food, American food, Italian food, Mexican food? If I gave you all those choices, we have such a really hard time choosing. We can't choose when we have more than one or two choices. There's something about it. Or we go, oh, that's all right, you choose. And then the person chooses, and then you say, well, I really like the other one, which is something that always can happen as so anyway, what my point is about choices, and he's inviting us not to choose. And I kind of use that on my channel when it comes to what are we going to talk about today? Sometimes I don't choose. I just let it go. It's organic. It just becomes what it
Yes,
becomes. But I don't do that all the time because I can't do that all the time. People want to know what's going on. But I find it fascinating that we can learn those things as we go along. And these philosophies and and really religion is but a philosophy. That's what it is. It's really one's philosophy in life. So we're not only talking about mystics, we're talking about philosophies.
yes.
So yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's wonderful. All right. Any more? Or are we going to do some readings
Oh,
today?
yeah, we could do some reading.
Do
Yeah,
some
Candy.
readings. All right.
Hi, Candy.
Hi, Candy. Yeah. Nice to see you. Yeah. Yeah. No medical questions. So last night I was on with Marina, and we were talking about people that were energy, the energy of people right now. And some people are really tired. Some people are going through a lot of changes. Some people are experiencing physical feelings like vibrations and things like that. And I just wanted to make people aware again that, you know, all these things are part of what we call the ascension and learning and upgrading ourselves into new things. And have you had any of those yourself? Have you felt any,
Yeah,
headache or shakiness or any of that?
yeah, vibration. Yeah,
Vibrations? Okay.
I
That's
get a
good.
lot. It's like, especially my head, my jaws,
Yep.
I can feel the energy vibrating.
Wow. Okay. That's fascinating. Yeah. That's good to know that I get it too. Like right now, I'm very hot, very hot. I don't know why. So yeah. Anyway, yeah. So let's do some readings, folks. Let's do some readings. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to clear the energy.
Oh, I have that too. So that's how you use it.
You can. Yeah.
Oh, here,
They're called tingas. Okay. Now they're called
hypnoticity.
tingas. Aren't they beautiful? Sure. You can certainly have your hands have ramped up vibrating candy. Ah, well, you're such a healer as well with Reiki. Yes. Okay, Jessica. She will
I
check
start
you
just
off. Yeah. And Mazanzi. Okay. Mhm. Oh, Jessica's right after after Candy.
yes. Spirit is fascinating. I click on Jessica and then it went to Mazansi. And I quickly make sure I get
Because
Jessica.
it moved up. Yeah, I've done that so many times. Yeah, I know it. They're like, don't forget this one too, right?
Yeah.
Hypnicity, I have a beautiful couple of cards for you from the Sacred Soul Message card deck that I have. Wherever you go and whatever you do, be in love. Don't settle for less. Express your strong feelings and know you have been inspired. Isn't that beautiful? It's almost like a portal down at the end of the flowing river. So there's the first one. And the second one is open your hands if you want to be held, reach out, welcome love, and let yourself receive. How beautiful. And it looks like in your hands is all the out of doors. Look at that. It's gorgeous. It's tree lined. It's beautiful. So it's saying that your energy and your love is as big as all the outdoors. Thank you.
So I'm
See, I'm
using this.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sorry, you're finished?
Yeah, I'm all done. Yeah. Thanks,
Yeah.
Candy. Yeah.
So the first card, your success and prosperity have allowed you to pay off debts, acquire wise loans, or receive a grant or scholarship. In return, be sure to share the wealth with others. And then, so second card,
Mm.
renewal. It's time to get clarity about your life purpose and make changes so that you are on the path
Mm.
most divinely suited to you. And then the last
Mm.
card, Eight of Summer. You feel
Ooh.
there is more to life than what you are living, so it's time to move on. Yeah.
Well, she's a constant seeker. Nilani is a constant seeker. And I think sometimes she feels like she's not doing enough, but I think she's doing whatever it is that she needs to do. And we're feeling it. She says she offers energy healing all the time. Anybody can get it anytime. So that's beautiful. Yeah. Thank you, dear. Thank you.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
So
I see
second
here.
one.
Spirit Beyond the Stars also um, is there, just in case you didn't see it. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Spirit. Oh
We
no,
have
yeah, I
just
missed out that one. Spirit beyond the star. Yeah, I missed out on that one. Thank you.
all right, Juanita. It's good to see you, Juanita. Mm. Okay, Jessica Lynn. Good morning, dear. The first card I get is you are a magical being with the whole universe waiting to assist you. I love that. And look, it's like almost like the dawn of humanity, the beauty in the skies. So don't forget that you are magical all the time, not just on selected days. In other words, you're unified with the whole. The second one is there are many doors that lead to the place where you truly belong. I believe you've walked through many of them, but there are many more to walk through as long as we live. So you'll be led to where you truly belong as well. So there you go. Thank you.
Yeah, so I get the first card, resistance. Second card, cycles of life. You know, yeah, in our life, you know, yeah, very often, like when spirit on this path, when spirit asks us to do something, very often the first response is resistance. You know, no, I can't do it. You know,
I
not with
know.
it. Yeah. Cycles of life. Yeah, cycles of life. You know, life is never, it's always changing. Is so remember when there is. I always like that about Taoism. You know, when there is an up, there is a down, and when we are down, there's an. And then the third card, divine gateway. So resistance, cycles of life, divine gateway. So do not resist, just move with life, flow with life.
Right.
And that is the most effective way to get through the divine gateway.
Absolutely. It's like that second one I had with the doorways. You're going to find the right doorways. And because she's so aligned with the spiritual journey that they will keep showing up for her. Yeah. Yours is the same. Yeah, very much.
When I saw that, I thought, you know, the cards
resonate. Absolutely. Yeah, very good. Very cool. Yeah. Hi, Fatima.
Mezansi sound was general reading.
Okay, Mezansi.
Mezansi is from South Africa.
That's so cool. I have a very good friend that moved to the United States that used to work with me from Cape Town. And I love the way you guys talk. It's so neat. It's very cool. Yeah. All right. All right, Mezansi. It says, oh, I love this. Let your true colors show so your tribe knows how to find you. Well, it seems like you found us. So you've let your true colors show that you wanted a reading. I think that's beautiful. So we found you, you found us. Fabulous. And it says your shadows are just hiding the light right now. So if you're ever feeling like you're in a spot of darkness or there's something that's going on that you're not feeling good about, just remember that underneath there's always light. There's light in you, there's light in the whole situation. And all you have to do is maybe just take a second look or open up your eyes and see that the light shines from those eyes out into the world just beautifully. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I get sanctuary. Yeah, just now you mentioned about the core, you know. And recently when I channel, you know, the Ra kept talking about building that sanctuary within.
Yes.
Within us that we can retire to whenever we need to rest out, you know, recoup our energy or get in contact with the divine awakening. And that is pretty much a fitting card for Mezansi.
Yeah.
Awakening, rites of passage. So how would you read the
Oh,
rites of
yeah.
passage?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's wonderful. Those are beautiful. Wow. Thank you.
Osmanthus,
Hello,
may I have
Osmanthus.
your
Okay. Hope you're doing well, Osmanthus. The first card I get for you is telling you to look inside yourself. All you want, you already are. And that's a non-duality right there. You already are abundant, resourceful, and your wishes are always granted in the right timing. And look, there's a beautiful gift there waiting for you right in front of you. And remember that you are worthy and you are worth it. The second one I get is beautiful lanterns that are descending up into the sky. And it said, "You've seen my descent. Now watch my rising. Success in overcoming all obstacles is on your side." I don't know if you've ever seen lanterns that are lit and then they float. Oh, they're so beautiful, especially at night when it's dark and you can see them floating along. And so they want you to lift yourself up and realize that you can fly in your own way. There you go.
yeah, flying in your own way. That's inspiration for you. And then healing hands.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah,
Yes, very
healing
nice.
hands. So
Mhm.
that's something, if you have not done it, something you could start applying yourself to. And then I love
Mhm.
this stuff, self-realization. So that's what we are talking
Oh,
about.
yeah.
The non-duality is attending to that self-realization where there is
Mhm.
no other, just self and the divine.
Yeah. Wow. That's beautiful. Just beautiful.
Juanita's review. May I have a reading?
Hi,
Really?
Jordan. Yes, Juanita.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you do, Osmanthus. Just believe you have healing hands because we all have that ability. Yeah. All right. All right. You are close to the end of something, Juanita. It looks like you're going to solve or resolve an issue that you've been dealing with for a while now. So know that it's whatever has been mushrooming as a problem will be cut down very, very soon with this resolution. They're saying you're a tough, resilient woman, and it shows up the same way that some of our beautiful wildflowers do, in that they're able to grow in the wild without being tended. And so realize that your resilience is just as strong as they. And you are a free spirit. It says here, release whatever it is that's been holding you back from what you want to do. Don't let the past hold you back. And if you've got a feather, that means you can fly, girl. So you fly. You fly.
Yeah, the first card, balance. Look at the angel. So
Hmm.
achieving a balance. Right now, the what comes to my mind is, grounded, centered, and humble. For me,
Mm-hmm.
that's the most effective way to maintain that balance with us. And
Yep.
then you have positive movement forward
Wonderful.
and accelerated motion. So
Oh,
whatever you are on, it's going to move very
move forward.
fast forward, positive and accelerated. So
There you go.
whatever you are on is going to happen very fast,
Excellent.
very positive and very fast.
Yep. All right. Spirit beyond the stars. Okay, the first card I get is a reminder that you pull the strings that control your own life. And so you have it's basically saying you have the power. You have the power, much like Dorothy did in The Wizard of Oz when she was wearing those red ruby slippers. And she always had the power, but she just didn't realize it. So you are the one that pulls the strings, and everything is unfolding just as it should be. So trust the universal timing of what's going on, and know that everything will come around and work out in that timing. We can't rush things sometimes. We just have to allow. Thank you.
Yeah, I get the card shadow, and yet it shows two people. So, do not be afraid of any darkness or shadows, whatever that's happening in your life that looks like, dark or shadow. It, do not let it deter you from whatever you want to do, because you could see that these two people are coming together.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and you have the hope on the
Baby.
horizon. And then attending to balance. Again, that card, I love the angel, the
I know.
archangel. Yes. So I
Yeah.
hope it resonates with
Beautiful.
you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's good to see you, dear. Thanks
Yeah.
for being
And then
here. Yeah.
the hope, it has a light and a figure inside.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
This is actually, I,
The
I love
divine you. The divine you. What is it? Which group of cards is it? I'm
John
sorry.
Holland.
Oh, the John Holland. Ah, he's
Yeah,
great.
I like
He
him
is
very
great.
much. I like his
Okay.
cards very much.
Very much. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Hi, Gemini Moon.
Can you pull a couple of cards on the price of gasoline?
Okay. We'll see what we can find out. I got to tell you, Mary, even in Washington State, 3 hours north of me, my husband pays under $4 a gallon. Here, we pay only 3 hours south. I pay about, in my area, about almost $5 a gallon. And I can't afford to do much. It's really difficult, So, hi, Randy. Okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, I know you're feeling handcuffed, Mary. Oh, my goodness. It says feeling powerless. We're being held back. Loss of freedom. I'm hearing a lot of people talk about the price of gas and the price of groceries and how out of control it is. And a lot of people blaming the president, which is ridiculous because he's not a corporation that sets the gas prices or the grocery prices. And yet he has to be the one to face the brunt of it. But I do feel like we're handcuffed here. It says here that it's interesting. They give me the safe. And I don't know if it means we're safe from it getting any higher or not, or that we're not safe from it getting any higher or not. But I don't know. It says you can manifest good gas prices. Give me the magic lamp. And I think that's interesting. It says wish fulfilled manifesting. So maybe we all need to do a total manifesting session on gas prices not going up anywhere, at least, and actually maybe even going down. That would be wonderful. So, thank you. That's kind of what I get out of these cards. I don't know that you have cards that can tell you that, Trudy, like I do, but it's up to you.
Well,
Yeah.
this card say trapped in fear.
Oh.
And guess what? Trapped in fear, heartache, and loss.
Uh-huh.
So that's what we are going through,
Yeah.
and harmony. So, whatever it is, however things are, we are in it all together. We are suffering together. We are
Yeah.
in harmony. We are in it together.
Uh-huh.
And,
Yep.
so with that, we could gain strength and courage and
Mm-hmm.
hope from each other to move forward on this difficult, life where everything is going,
Uh-huh.
everything is going up, everything is getting so
Yeah.
difficult.
Yeah. She says, she's thinking about what equipment she'll now buy. And so are you thinking of equipment that is either electrical or gas related, like if you were buying a lawnmower, let's say, or something? Yeah. I agree with you, Mary. But
Yeah, I use a
yeah.
lot of gas in summer because of equipment.
Oh, so you want to buy it now just to store it, is what you're saying. I get you. I get you, Mary. I thought you were buying equipment. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Spirit beyond the
There's a
sun. They are
hurricane?
saying,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
a hurricane hitting the east coast of New England. Hurricane
Oh,
during this
goodness.
time of year.
Yeah, it can happen. Yeah. Yes, we can if you want.
Stop the
We can,
gouging.
yeah. We need to, as a collective, we need to ask that. I think what upsets me the most is that corporations have been given a tax-free basis now for many years. They don't pay taxes we do, like we do middle income people, but yet they still have the higher prices. And then some of their CEOs get billions of dollars or at least millions of dollars in bonuses off
Yeah.
of our backs. So we need to do that. We need to come together and do a manifestation that people pay their fair share, at least, and know that that's being done. I see, Mary, you have farm mowers and stuff. Okay.
Yeah. Farm
Yeah.
mowers. Does.
Yeah. She has tractors and things like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would say maybe half and half, Mary. Maybe go get some and store it if you can, a little bit of it anyway, and see what's going on as spring turns into summer, and then buy accordingly from there. But I do understand why you're concerned. Yeah. Yep. Get it.
So, yeah. The nuns always say angel passing when there is sudden silence. And I think here we call it dead air. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and so I have one sleeping here, and the other one is over there.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
They're just so adorable. They're just so adorable, really. Which she showed me the one in the background peeking out from between two big cushions. So it was so cute. I love it. I do. I love it. Yeah. Yeah,
ethnicity.
I agree. Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
I really hate to admit it, but for years I paid
Uh-huh.
like like 1,000 a month for dental and
Oh yeah.
for health insurance and dental, but I couldn't jump out because if I jump out, I couldn't jump back in
Uh-huh.
because it was my late husband's insurance. So I have to
Insurance.
pay and pay. And I thought to myself, I never thought I would be counting the months till I turn
I know.
65. I
Oh my
count the
God. Okay.
years and the months till I turn 65.
And the months. Well, it's interesting you mentioned that, Gertrude, because I was at the grocery store the other day, and there was a very nice lady that was checking me out of the checkout line, and I could tell she was older than me, and she was working. She was standing there working, and I got in a conversation with her, and she was very, very nice. She's 81 years old, and she's still working because of insurance. She has to make insurance payments, and I said, I bet you never thought you'd have to still have a job at 81 years old. She said, no, I really didn't. And she said she has to stand there all, for her shift, and she's got bad knees and bad hips and bad hand, arthritis and everything. It just made me sad because nobody at, over the age of whatever, 70, 60, I don't know, should have to work. If they want to work, that's fine, but they shouldn't have to work. But we're seeing that a
Yeah.
lot now. And that's because these corporations are so greedy. It's really sad. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
You grow your own vegetables. Oh, herbs, teas, and fruits.
Herbs,
That's
teas, and
awesome.
fruits. Nice.
Yep. 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 Mary, I agree with you 100%. Corporate capitalism is really out of control. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Wow. Well, I guess
So,
we are done for the day.
yeah, we're
Yeah,
done for today.
we'll be back again next month.
Yeah.
On my channel, I'll be hosting, but Trudy will be simulcasting. And I don't know if we'll talk about this again or something else, but we'll come up with something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you are training me with this. You are training me to be a good student. So what
Oh,
happened
yeah.
was, I can't do it like you. You know, I can watch and watch, and I just can't put it together. But recently, I found a good trick. So I get all the
Okay.
information in my head, and then I because I do channeling, I asked Ra Collective, could you help me put it
Oh,
together? So
good.
I put it in a verses form this morning,
That's wonderful.
non-duality.
That's fabulous. I love that. I love that. And there are a lot of psychics out there that actually don't even need to they just know because they know like you from the heavens, so to speak. And I'm jealous of that. I have to do my own
No,
study.
I found that I asked Ra, and I found that with channeling. So they told me it helps when you have the information in your head,
Oh yeah,
because if we have to give you a word that you do not know, it takes us so much energy. So I find I
sure.
channel best when I put all this information in my head, and then I get them
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
arrange it or
Yeah,
yeah.
arrange it for you. Gosh, you've got people basically putting up the seats for your conference is what it is. That's what I call it. I love it. That's great.
Yeah.
Mazanzi,
Oh,
thank you. Have a good sleep. Yes.
yeah. Thank you for being here. And everyone, thank you for being here.
Yes. Thank you.
And Ali, I always enjoy this interaction with you.
You know I do too. So thank you, Gertrude.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So we end it here.
Okay.
Bye.